Hello, welcome back to Underrated Movies. I'm your guy, I'm your man, Mr. Alton Henry, and today I'd like to talk to you of another film that I believe is severely underrated. In fact, I think it hit its maybe 12th anniversary since it already passed, but since it's released. And in celebration with Zacksnyder's Justice League, which I know I'm late to the party, I will be talking about the underrated superhero epic Watchmen, an adaptation done by Zack Snyder. The original source, I think, is from Alan Moore. And basically this is a film about a group of vigilantes / superheroes who are coming out of retirement after one of their own has been murdered. And it's a very complex, multi-layered crime story. So it's not really your average superhero film. For those who've come to love the MCU and, other trendy formulas that got people in the seats along with some DC movies. And ain't nothing wrong with that. But here, and I give props to Zack Snyder, this is probably just my opinion. This is his best film. I like this a little bit more than Zack Snyder's Justice League. And to be honest, when I first watched the film, I wasn't really on board with it, but I kept calling me back. I watched the original 160-minute version, and I actually read the comic book when I was in high school. The comic book was interesting. I actually rented it a couple times. I wouldn't mind buying it. And it was very, I would say, very multi-layered. There was a lot of stuff going on. It was like an anthology of stories, but there was actually one lunar story that was going on. But it was a crime superhero film. It was a very detective-like superhero film, and you don't really get that a lot with these kinds of movies. You really don't. And I don't know, I just kept coming back to it, and for some reason I fell in love with the film over time. And then when I saw the big box set at Barnes & Noble, I bought it. This version, the ultimate cut, is 3.5 hours long. 3 hours and 35 minutes. And you bet I watched every minute of it, because they got this little side story called Tales of the Black Frontier, of a story of a excuse me, of a pirate who's kind of losing his sanity as he becomes paranoid, and he becomes guilt of killing this other ship of pirates, but turns out that while on the ship he's losing his mind along with some other crewmen. But it's mostly about him, and really he's losing his mind. He gets kind of crazy, and he goes home and he accidentally murders his family, which one of his greatest fears of what happened. It's very dark. It's very dark, and somewhat kind of gets related to the film a bit, but not all the way. Gerard Butler voices as that pirate, and he's actually with that because the story kind of comes up back and forth quite often through the movie, and it makes it very unique to me. It's really unique. It makes it very unconventional, and I really like that. Makes it even more epic. The movie's epic as hell. Like, I gotta be honest, I enjoyed it. Like, the movie was epic as and then you have, the cast members who does great, which really the movie lingers more towards, I think, Spear Spectre, Rorschach, and Night Owl. Dr. Manhattan kind of pops in, but he's kind of billed as this superhero, or this ultimate being, who's probably the most powerful superhuman beings from Marvel or DC of all time. I wonder he would probably win against Thanos. Yeah, no doubt. Those three characters pretty much lead the story. And actually it was very interesting. Like sometimes like in moments of these in the film, they actually feels like it has like many movie shorts, like little short movies. Like there's this great segment here where it focuses on the origins of Dr. Manhattan, and it's breathtaking. That thing lasts for like 10 minutes. 10 minutes. It was told beautifully. Zack Snyder has a beautiful way of really, I think his cinematography for how he shoots his movies is great, and the color grading, and then he's a very visual storyteller, and it's beautiful. This is probably one of the most beautiful looking superhero films I've ever seen. This guy nails it. And I love his take on the grittiness and just how flawed these superheroes can be when they're trying to save people. They're trying to also save themselves from other scenarios or life events that they've gone through, and they question what is the value of doing what I'm doing if I'm not happy, or it gets to that point. And to me, there was really never a dull moment in the film, because there was always something interesting that was going on, always. And they got some pretty good freaking moments in here. To me, who really steals the show is Jackie Earle Haley's character, Rorschach. He steals every scene. He's perfectly cast as this character. This character's was actually one of my favorites in the movie. He was actually my favorite character in the film, and he pretty much leads the film to a certain way. I mean, maybe the narrative gets a little bit convoluted because you're focusing on too many characters to kind of unwind what the bigger picture was about this film. And there are some changes from the graphic novel, and I think maybe those changes are a little bit better. It feels more grounded in reality. And again, with Zack Snyder's touch, this is a dark superhero film. In fact, this is actually one of my top favorite ever superhero films, because it's different, it's bold, it's one of the rare superhero rated R films you could ever really gotten. I think the only one I can think of before this was Darkman with Liam Neeson. This is the cover of this. This is a beautiful film. It's a really noir detective superhero film. I could also imagine I don't know if this seems like I'm deviating from what I'm talking about, but I'm going to tell you right now, this is a great film. It's probably one of the most epic superhero films. It's also a detective noir. And guess what kind of goes with that? Batman. In fact, I think Zack Snyder would also be a perfect choice for Batman. Let's say a Batman film gets made just to be just as dark as this. That would be epic. Think about it. That would be epic. I mean, I think Warner Bros. Would be too scared to pursue a dark take like Watchmen, but put that in Batman. But above all else, this film is one of the greatest underrated masterpieces I've ever seen. And I actually like this film had a divisive reaction, because I didn't know how to react to it, but it kept making me think. It kept with me. It stayed with me. And I came back to it, and I love the film. I love this film. I could not stop watching it. I can't stop thinking about it. And I highly recommend this film, and I hope with the Zack Snyder Justice League, I hope people go back to revisit Watchmen, because it's a phenomenal film. It's great. It's a crime that this film wasn't given the amount of attention that it deserves, and it deserves a lot. If you have seen Zack Snyder's Watchmen, comment below. Let me know if you have seen it, what you thought about it, and let me know if you would recommend this film to anybody who's into superhero films or just this film in general. There are multiple versions of this film, and I recommend, just anybody else's preference, which one you prefer. I would suggest you watch the director's cut, which is just the very minimum of 3 hours. It doesn't have the Tales of the Black Freighter animation in it. And I don't know. I think that's like 25 minutes or less. If removed from the film. And there's some other extra scenes added to it, but I haven't seen the pure director's cut of Watchmen. But that's just me. For anybody who's kind of going into this, I think the original theatrical version is on HBO Max. I highly recommend you check it out. But if you're trying to watch the extended cut, you're probably going to have to watch it on YouTube, pay for the rental fees for it, and just take it from there. But I do recommend this film, especially anybody who's into superheroes, DC fan. Please check this film out. Comment below, let me know if you have seen it, what you thought about it, and what is your favorite underrated movie.